All right, picture this. You're deep in Guatemala, maybe grabbing some street food, and then bam, a yellow school bus, straight out of some 1980s suburban legend, comes roaring past. But hold up, this ain't no ordinary field trip machine. This thing's been reborn, man. Welcome to the insane world of chicken buses, Guatemala's most hardcore, most vibrant, and yeah, most chaotic way to get around. These aren't just repainted school buses, they're rolling masterpieces. We're talking vivid murals, gleaming chrome that'll blind you, stickers everywhere, some even got religious slogans. Each one is a driver's personal statement. Some are tricked out with LED light shows that'll put a Vegas club to shame, air horns that'll wake the dead, and rooftop cargo racks piled high with, well, sometimes, yeah, chickens. But here's the kicker. These beasts once hauled kids to school right here in the US of A. After they hit their 10 or 12 years of service, they get shipped south. Locals then strip them, beef them up, and give them a wild second life. A lot of them still have the original stop signs and those classic bench seats inside. It's like a heavy metal history lesson on wheels, usually with some killer salsa music blasting from the front. And don't let that old school look fool you. These drivers push these buses hard. They pack them tight. No trip to Guatemala is truly complete until you've white-knuckled it on one of these. Now, imagine a Day of the Dead celebration that's less about quiet sorrow and more about a full-blown aerial assault of art and joy. In towns like Zampango and Santiago Zacatepeques, every year on November 1st, families gather to do something utterly mind-blowing. They fly massive, handmade kites over the cemeteries. And when I say massive, I mean kites as wide as a city bus, sometimes 60 feet across or more. Stitched from vibrant tissue paper and bamboo, these ain't your kids' park toys. These are spiritual messengers, barriletes gigantes, believed to carry prayers up to the heavens and keep bad vibes away. As these colossal kites wrestle with the wind, hundreds of families are down below, feasting among the tombstones, lighting candles, playing music, and sharing stories of their loved ones. The whole scene, it's electric, man. Poetic. This festival flips mourning on its head, turning it into this explosive celebration of life, memory, and connection. It's not about forgetting, it's about pulling those you've lost a little bit closer with every gust of wind. Many of these kites take months, even a full year to build, a sacred tradition passed down through generations. The designs are insane, from ancestral pride to sharp political commentary, all crafted with a level of detail that just makes you stop and stare. So next time someone tells you grief has to be quiet and somber, you show them this. Okay, before Belgium, before Switzerland, before any chocolatier you've ever heard of even dreamed of a truffle, there was Guatemala. That's right, the world's first real chocolate, that bitter, sacred drink crushed from beans and mixed with spices, traces its roots right back to ancient Guatemala. It all kicked off with the Maya. They didn't just like cacao, they worshipped it. They believed it was a divine gift, often using it in rituals and as offerings. Cacao beans were so damn valuable, they were actual currency. Imagine buying your dinner with chocolate. Sounds pretty good, right? But here's where it gets even wilder. Recent archaeological digs in Guatemala have uncovered early tools specifically used to press cacao into solid forms. Yeah, you heard that, chocolate bars. Historians now think Guatemala might just be the birthplace of the first edible chocolate. No sugar, no milk, just rich, earthy cacao pressed by hand. Fast forward to today, and Guatemalan farmers are still growing some of the world's finest heirloom cacao, prized by master chocolatiers across the globe. That fancy 70% dark bar you dropped $20 on last week, odds are its family tree leads straight back here. If your mind is already racing with how much there is to uncover, and you're the kind of guy who's always looking to level up your knowledge of the world's hidden gems, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're constantly digging up stories like this, raw and real, from places you thought you knew. Your support keeps the mission alive. In Guatemala, the ground doesn't just shake, it speaks, it roars. Step outside early in the morning, and you might see this eerie plume of smoke spiraling from a distant peak. That's not a cloud, my friend. That's one of over 30 volcanoes that stud the landscape, and several of them are very, very much alive. From the smoldering cone of Volcán del Fuego, that's Volcano of Fire, which blew its top as recently as 2018, to the breathtaking, almost guardian-like presence of Volcán Agua, watching over the city of Antigua, Guatemala is slap bang in the Pacific Ring of Fire. These volcanoes aren't just scenery, they're life shapers. Entire communities grow crops in volcanic soil, so rich it's like nature's cheat code. Adventurers hike slopes where molten lava, hotter than 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, once flowed. And yeah, sometimes the sky turns a hellish red, not from a sunset, but from an eruption. Here's something nuts. At least 3 of these volcanoes are currently active, with eruptions you can see from miles away. And yet, locals live in this wild harmony with them, weaving these colossal, fire-breathing mountains into their stories, their legends, and their daily lives. So, the next time you sip a cup of Guatemalan coffee, remember that incredible flavor started in fire. Now, nestled beneath misty volcanoes, ringed by steep, impossibly green cliffs, there's this body of water, so deep, locals used to whisper it had no bottom. This isn't just another pretty postcard lake. This is Lake Atitlan, and it holds the heavyweight title for the deepest lake in Central America, plunging over 1,100 feet into the earth. Formed by a cataclysmic volcanic eruption around 84,000 years ago, Atitlan isn't just deep, it's dripping with mystery. Some scientists believe it's still geologically active. There are reports of strange underwater currents and even submerged ruins, sparking rumors of a lost Mayan city hidden beneath its surface. But it's not just all science and legend. 12 towns, each named after one of the apostles, dot its shores, each one steeped in vibrant local culture. Fishermen still paddle these ancient-looking wooden canoes across waters so clear you can see the clouds reflected like a perfect mirror. And the sunsets? Unreal. We're talking glowing orange and purple skies that just make time itself stop. And speaking of Guatemalan originals that blew the world's mind, you probably use that little green owl app to guilt-trip yourself into learning Spanish or French, right? Well, the brain behind Duolingo's global language revolution, Luis Vonan, he's from Guatemala. Before that, this guy created reCAPTCHA. Yeah, those squiggly word tests that prove you're human and digitize books at the same time. Talk about a big brain move. Luis grew up in Guatemala City, and seeing limited access to education firsthand lit a fire under him. Make learning free and accessible for everyone. Today, Duolingo boasts over 500 million users. All started with a kid from Central America who believed knowledge shouldn't have a price tag. That's not just a tech story. That's proof that world-changing impact can come from literally any corner of the globe. Somewhere in the vast northern wilderness of Guatemala, a region called Petén, ancient stone cities lie sleeping under thick jungle canopies. This is the cradle of Mayan civilization, a place so dense with history it's often called the birthplace of the Maya. And while places like Tikal steal the spotlight with their pyramids stabbing through the jungle like something out of an epic adventure movie, what most people don't realize is that Petén is littered with thousands of ruins, many still unexcavated, swallowed by roots and vines. We're talking about a civilization that built sprawling cities, tracked the stars with shocking accuracy. Their calendar was more precise than Europe's at the time. And this isn't just ancient history. Recent LiDAR scans, like something out of a sci-fi flick, revealed over 60,000 previously undiscovered Mayan structures buried in Petén's jungles. Not just a few houses, man, entire lost cities. Exploring Tikal itself, a UNESCO World Heritage Site recognized way back in 1979 for both its cultural and natural awesomeness, feels like stepping onto another planet. It once held over 100,000 people, covering over 220 square miles, with more than 3,000 distinct structures. And while you're in that part of the world, you might hear about Guatemala's other buried treasure, jade. Not just any jade, but jadeite, the rarest, most prized kind on Earth. We're not talking about those little green trinkets from souvenir shops. This stuff once held the power of kings and gods. Buried deep within volcanic rock, this stone flowed through the hands of Maya rulers like solid cash. Even today, entire villages are dedicated to carving it, passing down secrets for generations. Some pieces are so pure, collectors from China and Japan will pay thousands of US dollars for just a sliver. And get this, it comes in more than just green. Think icy white, inky black, even violet. You might think the biggest population in Central America would be in a country with a famous canal or one known for its ecotourism. Think again. The title of most populous country in Central America, that belongs to Guatemala. Yep, this volcano-laced, language-rich nation is home to over 18 million people as of 2024, and that number's climbing. But here's the twist. It doesn't feel overpopulated.
Venture into the highlands or the Petén jungle, and there's space everywhere. That's because a lot of Guatemala's population is concentrated in bustling hubs like Guatemala City, the largest city in all of Central America. And here's another wild fact. Nearly half the population is under 25 years old. This place is young, buzzing with potential and change. This energy fuels everything, including their world-famous coffee. The country ranks among the top 10 coffee producers globally. Why? Altitude, volcanic soil, perfect climate? It's a trifecta you can't fake. And this isn't some giant corporate machine. Over 125,000 Guatemalan families depend directly on farming these beans, often hand-picked, shade-grown, pure heritage. Then there's the quetzal, the national bird. A flash of iridescent color so surreal you'd swear it was CGI. Its tail feathers can grow over 2 feet long. Sacred to the ancient Maya, killing it was forbidden. Even their currency is named the quetzal. And remember those two distinct coasts? The Pacific side has black sand beaches baked by the sun, while the Caribbean side boasts turquoise waters and Garifuna villages. It's less than a 10-hour drive between them, but it feels like crossing worlds. Plus, along that Pacific coast, you can even help release baby sea turtles. Between June and December, thousands hatch, and conservation groups invite visitors to give these little guys a fighting chance. Only about 1 in 1,000 makes it to adulthood, but every single one counts. And woven through all of this, while Spanish is official, over 20, that's 20, officially recognized indigenous languages are spoken daily. Each one is a unique thread in this incredible cultural fabric. So the next time you're sipping that premium coffee, or hear about ancient civilizations, or even just log into Duolingo, there's a good chance a piece of Guatemala's extraordinary, often underrated spirit is right there with you. This country isn't just a collection of facts. It's a living, breathing testament to resilience, artistry, and a history that refuses to be forgotten. What blew your mind the most about Guatemala? Was it the chocolate, the chicken buses, or those insane kites? Drop a comment below. I want to hear what hit you the hardest. And if you're hungry for more deep dives into places that'll change how you see the world, check out our last video right here. We're just getting started.